So you want to take control of your finances with a budget, but maybe you don't even know where to start. Today I'm breaking it down for you step by step to show you how you can start a budgeting process that is actually going to be sustainable. Hi everyone, I'm Marissa and welcome back to my channel, The Budgeting Wife, where we talk about budgeting tips to help you feel confident in finding the balance between life and money. Now I am a total budget nerd, obviously by the title of my channel, and I have been budgeting since I was in college before I even got married because I love being able to see where my money was going and being able to have the full picture and the full control of my finances. And that is why I still budget today. I know that a lot of people can hear the word budget and feel really constricted, but that is not at all what a budget is. Instead, my thinking is that a budget actually gives you the permission to spend when you allocate money towards fun spending and also being able to cover those necessities. And it even holds you accountable to make sure that you're reaching those financial goals. So if you're wanting to pay off debt, save for an emergency fund, save for a down payment on a house, all of these things can be done, and using a budget is going to be what holds you accountable to reach those goals. So the budget that I use every month is a zero-based budget, which means that all of your income equals all of your expenses. And I have a bunch of videos showing how I create my budget, so I will leave links to those up here in the card above so you can check out my budgeting videos. But I create a new budget for every month because every month is different. So here's how you can get started with creating a budget that you're actually going to stick to. First, select your budgeting platform. Now, for me, I am a total Excel nerd. I'm an accounting major. I do accounting by day, and so I'm just really comfortable using Excel. So I have an Excel budget. And if you're wanting to get the budget template that I use, I have it for sale on my Etsy shop for $5, so I will have a link to that in the description box down below if you want to check that out. But if Excel is not like your jam and you don't really understand it or it freaks you out, then find a platform that is going to be most helpful for you. Whether that's an app like EveryDollar, that's the Dave Ramsey budgeting app, which I've found is actually really great. There's a free version and a paid version, or if that's using another software like Mint, or you can even just go old school and go pencil and paper. Basically, pick the method that's going to feel most comfortable for you, because you're definitely not going to be motivated to keep up on your budget if it's in Excel and you actually just hate Excel. The second step to budgeting is figuring out your income, and this includes all household income. So your day job, your spouse's day job, your side hustle income, any sort of money that you have coming in, sit down and actually figure out how much that will be. Like I said, a zero-based budget takes all of your income and all of your expenses and they should equal zero. So we want to make sure we know how much money we have to work with each month. If you have a regular salary job, then this is super easy and is going to be about the same every single month. Now, there are people out there who do have a variable income, and I'm actually one of those people. I have a side business here on YouTube, and so we have regular salary income from our day jobs, but then I have this additional business income which fluctuates month by month. So since I have a variable income, the way that I incorporate that in my budget is I budget for the least amount of money that I plan to bring home that month. That way I can use that income to create my budget and I know that everything is going to be covered. And then if I bring in extra money that month, I can put the extra to my financial goal or any other category that I was hoping to put extra to that month. And side note, if you are married, I highly recommend making a budget together. You guys are a family unit, and so combining finances when you're married is super valuable. So for our monthly budget, it's a household budget. So I have Jacob's income and my income in the same budget. We don't go off of Jacob pays these bills, I pay these bills. It's just all in one checking account, and that's the pot that we have to pay all of our bills for that month. Now that you know how much income you're bringing in, it's time to start writing down some expenses. First off, your necessities. So take a look at all of your bills and see what are those necessities, those things that you have to cover. Things like rent or your mortgage, you have utilities, daycare, groceries, insurance, gas, and you can't forget a miscellaneous category. You always need a miscellaneous category because random things always come up. So write down all of those necessities and those things that you know have to be paid each month. Next, list out your wants and your financial goals. So your wants are going to be things like personal spending money, like pocket money that you could spend on whatever, things like home decor, eating out, entertainment, vacations, and then looking at your financial goals and savings items. So maybe your financial goal right now is paying off debt, and so you are going to put every other dollar you can squeeze out of your budget towards paying off debt. Or if that is saving for an emergency fund, that's your financial goal that you're working on. And chances are you probably have other things that you are saving for along the way in what we call a sinking fund, which is saving for something little by little each month so that you have enough money to cover the expense when it comes up. So we use sinking funds in our budget for things like vacations, extra giving, and Christmas are some of our favorites. So create these categories and figure out how much you plan to spend in each, starting with those necessities and then those wants and those financial goals. And now is the moment of truth. So you take all of those expenses, all of those necessities, those wants and financial goals and savings items that you have, add them all up for the month, and they should equal how much income you brought in for the month. And that is what makes a budget a zero-based budget. Now, if all of this money out for the month does not equal your income, then it's time to do a little extra work, which means you either need to cut some expenses or make some extra income. So maybe you'll have to cut back on some of those wants if your financial goal right now is paying off debt aggressively. Or maybe you can find ways to reduce your grocery budget. Other things you may have to cut is your rent. Maybe your rent is just too much for your budget and you need to find a different place to live. But if you get to the end of your budget and you really haven't allocated money on these wants or even these financial goals, then maybe it's time to look at increasing your income. To increase your income, there are a few options. First, you can go and ask for a raise at your current job, or if that's not an option, then maybe it's time to start looking for a different job with a better salary. And even in the meantime, to make extra money, you can start a side hustle, which is making money on the side that is not part of your day job. I'm all about the side hustle, and even though my husband and I do have like steady day jobs, I have a side hustle business here and actually really love it. The next step to budgeting, and an important one that many people forget, is checking in with your budget frequently. This is something that I do actually every week. I sit down with my budget every Sunday evening and I just take like half an hour and I take all of the transactions I made in the week and I put them into my budget spreadsheet, and therefore I'm able to see how I'm doing throughout the month. And that may mean that throughout the month I may be spending more on groceries than I initially anticipated, which means that I'm either going to have to make really simple and affordable meals for the rest of the month, or maybe increase that budget a little bit more, which means that other budget categories may have to get cut. A budget is not set in stone and is totally flexible, so that is why it's important to be tracking your budget through the month, making sure that you're staying on track and finding ways that you can adjust if needed. And then at the end of every month, I sit down with my budget spreadsheet and I take a look to see how the entire month went. And I compare my budget to my actuals and I take what I learned and apply it to the next month. Now, if you are just getting started in the budgeting process, it can take about like 3 months to get in the habit of budgeting. So if the first, month or two don't go well, that's totally okay. Just take what you learned and apply it to the next month, and each month is going to get better. And also, just don't give up. Don't give up. You can do this. Now that you have your budget set up, I have a bunch of videos here on YouTube all about budgeting, so check out this budget playlist right here. Also, give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more budgeting videos, and I will see you in that next budgeting video.